So if anybody is aware of my channel, I talk about quite a lot of things. I talk about a lot of spiritual things, and I translate the spiritual into psychological process or concepts. Basically, everything that happens in the natural realm, there is an actual spiritual realm that it happens in as well. I have talked about narcissistic mothers or narcissistic people being driven by a certain set of demons. These are the same demons that drove Jezebel. Okay. This is an example of how many narcissistic moms operate with their daughters. I have firsthand knowledge of this because I am the daughter of a narcissistic mom. I've done a lot of studies on it. I've done a lot of engagement with other daughters of narcissistic mothers. So I have quite a bit of knowledge on it myself. But the reason that I am making this video and pointing out some things, I'm going to do a voiceover, is because men who have daughters with potentially narcissistic spouses, you need to know this. And what you need to know is how to spiritually protect your daughter and cover your daughter. Because this is a spiritual thing. I understand that, you know, we live in a natural realm, we live in a psychological realm, we live in a scientific-based atmosphere. But what you need to understand about narcissism is that it starts in the spiritual realm. So in order to protect your daughter, you have to cover your daughter in the spiritual realm. And you do that through prayer, through mediation, through understanding of what you're dealing with from a psychological and a spiritual perspective. You have to know what they're doing. You have to study this narcissist and you have to understand their behavior. Because what ends up happening with narcissistic abused daughters is they grow up, they become extreme people pleasers, and they develop a sense of empathy that is superhuman. But unfortunately, what that does is it attracts other narcissists. So basically, the narcissistic mom conditions the daughter to continuously attract narcissistic love abusers throughout her life. So here we go.
We're going to tell the truth. Mr. Monzel, in your lie detector test, you were asked, did you have any sexual contact with any of your 3 daughters? You said no, and the lie detector said there was no deception.
Yes, thank you.
Narcissistic moms will often lie about anything to shun the character of the father, who is usually a doting father, but might have some traits of avoidance. Many men become avoidant after dealing with a narcissistic spouse. This seems to be the case here. Let's keep watching.
Told no different.
Note this woman's facial expression. Look at her eyes. Look at her smirk. This is classic narcissistic behavior. Narcissists are really good at masking, but if you know to look behind the mask, she can't put on a mask right now because she's caught red-handed. So this is her expression. Very, very cold, lacking empathy of every kind. That's how they are. Very good at putting on a performance, though, like she's about to do. Continue watching.
No, and the answer was deceptive. So, Miss Yvonne has acknowledged that her story about you touching your children in a sexual way was not true.
She only acknowledged that because she was caught and there was no way that she can get out of it.
Say to Mr. Monzel.
Why didn't you fight for him harder?
Notice the gaslighting, blaming him for things. Why didn't he try harder?
That would have made you not believe the lie you were telling. Miss Yvonne, you told the lie. It was a lie, and you told it. And you gotta own it.
I'm sorry. I need you to say that you did not rape your girls. I need to hear it come out your mouth the way I've always heard it, Ma.
Look at the smile.
I apologize for accusing you of raping them. Please forgive
Now here's the problem with narcissistic apologies. They're never sincere. They might seem sincere, but they are never sincere. All it is a way for them to get better at being...
I cannot accept your apology because it's not sincere. Deep down, I know that you didn't believe that.
So in the psychological realm, there is a concept called the narcissistic smile. And it's very true. These people have like a weird smile. If you're tuned in enough, you may be able to see it, but most people can't really tell because they're not looking for it. But it's like a smile with no joy or emotion behind the eyes. Okay, let me do an example real quick. Let me do an example. This is what someone that I know who smiles looks like when they smile. Okay, listen. Can you see how like I'm putting effort in my mouth, but my eyes are kind of just like, that's how that is. Or if they're trying to be excited, it'll be something like this. Can you tell? Like, it's not like, it's like they are trying to express happiness, but it's not behind their eyes. It's not genuine. There's no empathy there. There's no real expression of that. Another thing is the narcissistic smirk, which you probably saw if you were paying attention in this video. They get like a weird sadistic satisfaction from hurting people because it brings them pleasure. This is the same MO of Satan. Satan does this. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, Satan does this. He gets sadistic pleasure from the pain and suffering of innocent people. So do narcissists. They want you to worship them. They want you to constantly uplift them. They want you to constantly choose them, no matter what they do. They train you and condition you to always love them when you're a little girl, prepubescent. And then when you start puberty, now that narcissistic mom is looking at you like you're the enemy because now you're starting to resemble a woman. You're starting to have your own opinions. You're starting to question the stuff that she says. She don't like that. So now here comes the mistreatment. Here comes the belittling, the talking bad about you, and the treating you like you're like a slut or a whore. Anything to diminish who you are. And their facial expression when they do that is like that. Daughters of narcissistic parents need protection in the spiritual realm from their dads.